Okay. All right. So I wanted to share how we prep and how we meal plan and how we can make it easier. A lot of people are spending more time at home now because everything's under quarantine. So it just makes it can either make things a lot more challenging, or you can find ways to make it easier. And so my name is Amanda. We have 9 kids. We homeschool. Really nothing has changed a lot for our life. I've always had to cook breakfast, lunch, and supper. My husband works on an organic dairy farm, and he's home every day for lunch. So sometimes I may complain a little bit that like, oh, dad's coming home. It means I don't get to make an easy meal. And it's not that I don't, but he's coming home and typically he's already worked 6 or 7, 8 hours or something like that by the time he comes home, depending upon the day. And so you don't want to just throw a meat and cheese sandwich in front of him. And so we have found different ways to make meal planning easier, because if we have a plan in place, it makes the day go smoother. It makes everything go off without a hitch. When I don't meal plan, my house can be utter chaos because I have to tell some kids to stop doing school, or I have to stop doing school, or we just have to like totally disrupt the process of the day to figure out, oh crap, we didn't take out meat, we don't have this. Or if I don't have breakfast pre-planned, the kids are waking up, and if I had a late night with the baby, all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock, nobody's eating, everybody's hangry, and it just starts your day off on a craptastic foot. So some of the things that we do to help make things easy is I have a simple sheet like this. This is my grocery list, or where I put my groceries, and this is my meal planning. A lot of people maybe don't need everything that's on here, but if this is something you're interested in, I will post a link, or you can message me and I will send you the link so that you can get your free copy of this and everything else that I have tonight. But what it is I usually meal prep on Sundays. So Sunday afternoons or Sunday mornings. And if I'm feeling adventurous, you can go ahead and meal prep on a Saturday. It doesn't really matter. But I meal prep on the weekends, and I do Monday through Sunday. And I have a B, L, and an S for breakfast, lunch, and supper. And then over here I put my shopping list. And so what I do is I have 3 little sheets like this with different meal ideas, and one is breakfast, and one is lunch, and one is supper. So everybody's is going to look slightly different. But the biggest challenge that I found in meal planning is like, you get this and you're like, I don't know what to plan. I have no idea. What do we eat? I don't even know what we eat anymore. Like, I have totally drawn a blank, and I don't know how to feed my family. And so if you can get input from your family on what kind of breakfast do they like, what kind of lunches do they like, and you create your own thing, I have like 30 different options on here. Finding 7 isn't so challenging then. I can look through there and go, okay, we do have plenty of hamburger and chicken, so I won't need to buy meat if I pick this, this, and this. And then you can fill them in. And you kind of can look, what I do anyway, is I look at our week. I know, again, a lot of people's lives have changed. So, you maybe don't have sports right now, or you don't have people gone in the evenings, or, oh, we have gymnastics this day, or whatever it is, piano lessons, things like that. You can kind of go, okay, I need easy meals on these days. I have more time on these days, and you can plan your meals accordingly. So that's how I do it. I get input from the family, create a list. I have these lists on hand. If we find something new we like, and sometimes it's just fun to update on, like, okay, we've kind of like been through this meal plan a few times, but it's really like you just sketch in what you want, where you find them. Somebody finds a new meal plan or new item that you like, then you go for it. So super simple. You keep them together. Every week you print out a new one of these. And what I do is I fill in those, as I'm filling in my breakfast, my lunch, my supper, I'm able to, because I do the grocery shopping, and everybody's going to have to adjust this accordingly, but I do the grocery shopping, or I kind of know what's on the shelves. I will make a list. And so as I'm going down, say I'm going to have eggs this day and this day, like 3 days. And I know we do 2 dozen eggs for breakfast. If we're going to make just eggs, it's going to be 2 dozen. And I'll put down, I need eggs, and I'll put like 6 dozen eggs. And then I can go down, and as I'm doing, like if I put meatloaf and I put meatballs and I put hamburger helper or whatever, I'm going to know I need 2 pounds of meat for this, 2 pounds of meat. So then I put, you know, hamburger, and I'll make little tally marks over here. So when I'm done, I can go, okay, these are the items I need. Or, you know, even onions. If you're thinking about how you saute onions, I'll put onions on here. And as I'm writing in the meal, like meatloaf, okay, I'm going to need onions for meatloaf. So I'll put a check next to meatloaf or next to onions. And then, oh, I'm going to make eggs. We put eggs in our onions and our eggs. I'm going to put a check next there. So I can, in my head, mentally go, okay, we're going to need, and even I'll do half checks if I only need a half onion for something, just so I can go through my cabinet and I can go, okay, we've got enough onions, we've got enough eggs, we've got enough oats, we've got enough this, and I know, and so then I'll mark those off, or I'll cross them off the list, so I know I don't have to pick them up, and I'll take a highlighter, or if you want to be fancy and create a new list that's prettier, whatever. Sometimes it's just like, this is what I take, this is what goes on our fridge. It doesn't always look pretty, there's notes on the side, but this is how we make meal planning work in our house. Having my daughter home from college has been great, but she's like, I'll make a spreadsheet. I'm like, spreadsheets don't work for me. I need something in paper, and I need it to be like readily accessible. So there's that. And again, like I said, then you start doing the fun work of finding out what your family likes to eat, and you make those. So whether you do a Pinterest day and you're pinning all these meals, and honestly, if you write the name of the food that you like, you can always Google it again, even if you don't print out the recipe. I hate paper. And so for me, either I'll screenshot it on my phone, or I do have a recipe box. And so if it's something that I use all the time, like waffles and pancakes, we have the recipe we use like every single Sunday. When we make our waffles or pancakes, we will make like, just to feed our family takes about 4 to 5 batches, but we will sometimes make above and beyond, or we'll make both waffles and pancakes so that we can freeze a bunch. And then throughout the week, it's like if we have a morning where, say, we have to be out of the house by a certain time, those are one of the quick, easy go-to meals that we have. So then you go ahead and prep that. Just to give you some ideas of things that we make, like that are on our list for breakfast, are things like oatmeal. Oatmeal is super versatile. You can make oatmeal in like 50 different ways. You can make plain oatmeal and you can flavor it with berries, or you can do strawberries or peanut butter and bananas, or you can do, one of our kids' favorites is s'mores. We get a graham cracker, they get a half a graham cracker crumbled over top, like 10 marshmallows, and then we sprinkle a little chocolate chips on it. So it's s'mores. We just make oats, you know, 1 cup of oats, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of milk. We make it just plain like that with a sprinkle of salt, and then we flavor it afterwards. Sometimes we'll put a little maple syrup or honey with it to make it sweet, but if we're doing different ones like that, you can put strawberry jam in it. So there's, even if you have oats 3 days in 1 week, that can be 2 or 3 totally different types of oats. Eggs, again, there's a million ways you can make eggs. You can make them over easy, you can scramble them. Cereal is not something we eat a lot in our house, but it is nice for those quick, easy day or quick days where you need something just to grab and go. Yogurt and granola is a big one here. If you have an Instapot, it's amazing. If you don't have an Instapot, get yourself an Instapot, because we make tons of yogurt. We eat yogurt a lot and we make tons of it. And I also, in today's thing, I'll give you a basic granola recipe. A lot of these recipes are going to be basic, and you can jazz them up to suit your lifestyle. If you like to have more nuts and seeds and you know, raisins and craisins or whatever in your granola, by all means add them to the recipe. You can be creative, and you can find different recipes out there to add to it, but we keep granola. It's kind of a staple in our house. When we run out, we go and make, like, you know, okay, not 6 batches, but like 3 or 4 batches of granola at a time, and then we store them in mason jars so we have them. But again, that's a super easy one. Smoothie bowls are a big one, and like I said, pancakes and waffles, we just make extra batches so we can freeze them. Overnight oats is a big hit around here, and again, it's another one you can make, you know, chocolate peanut butter, you can make the berry version, you can make vanilla, you can make like more hearty ones that have additional nuts. And if you Google overnight oats, you're going to find like 80 different recipes for it. The other one was chia seed pudding. This one's really healthy and it's tastes really good. A lot of kids like it. And again, it's something you can make the night before and pull it out. So overnight oats and chia seed pudding are ones I like to do because I'll mix it up in the evening. They will last for like 3 to 5 days in the fridge, but they're quick and easy. And the other one that we like to make is breakfast cookies. First of all, your kids think they're cookies, so it's a win, but they're healthy and you can, again, change some things up if your kids prefer. Okay, so the recipe is healthy. You use raisins in it, but if you need to use chocolate chips in it or sprinkle half chocolate chips, half raisins so that they eat them, you're getting a lot of good things in the overnight or the breakfast cookie recipe. And then, the banana bread, oatmeal bars, popovers, dippers, like make pancake dippers with them, French toast, egg bakes, quiches, energy bites. That's another one. We use those for snacks. We use them for breakfast, but those are on the go and that recipe will be in here as well. So like I said, there's lots of different ways you can do it. Some people for lunch like light, easy, the sandwiches, salads, and things like that. I have a lot of regular meals, so I kind of go between my supper and my lunch menu to decide what we're going to have. But like grilled cheese sandwiches, and with grilled cheese, you can make grilled ham and cheese sandwiches or egg and cheese sandwiches. Quesadillas is another quick one that we like to, or quesadillas is one that we like to do because if you're doing meatless, you can just do cheese. If you want, you can put hamburger in it, you can put chicken in it, you can put peppers in it, you can put onions, you can make them fun and fancy, you can make them simple and easy, and there's something that if you didn't take something out or didn't have it prepared, you can quickly grab your griddle, grab some tortilla shells and the ingredients and have them. The other thing is wraps. Wraps, you can make 80 different kinds, like BLT wraps, chicken bacon ranch wraps, buffalo wraps, spinach, hummus, pepper wraps. I mean, vegetables and a few minor ingredients and roll it into a tortilla shell and you've got a wrap. Those are another quick and easy one. I like to make things, so a lot of my lunches tend to be soups too because I can throw soups into my Instapot in the morning. If I, for whatever reason, didn't take out the meat the night before and it's still frozen, I throw it in my Instapot, start up the Instapot, and then I can soups, you kind of just dump ingredients in and then you have something ready for you at the mealtime. And then, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of different ones in here. I'm just running over a few, but suppers, pizzas, stuffed peppers, jalapeno popper chicken, which is, I think, one of the recipes I gave you. That one's super, no, I gave you fajita chicken bake because it's super easy. Pizza dippers, that's, my husband takes credit for that one because he found a recipe one night when I made him find recipes. But it's, again, a super easy one. And, you do need a few different ingredients that you might not have on hand. Meatloaf. Meatloaf, as much as most people hate meatloaf, it's actually can be very versatile and you can make it taste good. I know people love meatloaf. I grew up on meatloaf that I hated. I did not like meatloaf. I was not a fan of meatloaf, and my husband liked meatloaf, so I started making meatloaf, but I needed to make it something that everybody would like. So I put mine, we don't use breadcrumbs, we use oats in ours. We'll put sour cream or yogurt into it to make it a little bit more creamy. And again, you can vary, like if you don't have tomato paste, you can just add more ketchup to it. If you don't have oats, you can add breadcrumbs or rice. I've done rice in mine. So again, it can be very versatile. And I also like to play what's left in our fridge and what can mom make with it. And so we have that and the kids are like, what is this? And I'm like, I don't even know what to call it because it's a combination of 3 nights dinners put together and it's new. So again, you can make your meals match that way. A lot of times we don't have leftovers, but if we do, I try to, sometimes I go in themes and Nick's like, seriously, how much Mexican food can we eat in 1 week? But there's a reason for it because if we do a lot of Mexican themed things, then typically I can push them all together and make something jive with it in the end if I need to make like a mashup meal. So, and with the meatloaves, the other thing that I found works better, I've done meatloaves in my Instapot. They're fine. I mean, it's just like doing in an oven. They're a little bit more moist, not as dry, but individual meatloaves have been a hit. So I was doing them in muffin tins, which is cute and nice, but muffin tins suck to clean out. And my kids hate it. I don't like doing it. So cookie sheet, and roll them into little mini loaves, works fine. And then it's like super easy to wipe down and not have to worry about, you know, the mess afterwards or having to clean up the aftermath of making meatloaf. Hello. So that's another one. Chicken nuggets, homemade, super easy. Again, you just take your chicken breast, cut them into chunks. My daughter did make chicken nuggets one time by like grinding up the meat and pattying it and freezing it. That's a pain in the butt. I'll never make that. She wanted to make like the store chicken nuggets, and I was kind of like, we're not making, I'll make them. And it just turned into a hot mess. But chicken nuggets are easy to keep healthy. You just take your whole chicken, you bread them, batter them, and then you can either bake them, which is a healthier way, or you could like fry them up in something like coconut oil. And like Chinese chicken and rice, that, or lo mein, seriously, or you can do beef, but you just have your meat and you have whatever vegetables. So if you have broccoli, you know, like for us, we buy a lot of carrots and onions and broccoli, mushrooms. You can just take those ingredients with a little like amino acid or a liquid aminos and fry it all up together and pour it over rice. And it has, you know, that's Chinese rice. It doesn't have to be like packaged food. You can make it healthy. And for us, for like Chinese sauce, we really just use amino acids with salt, pepper, garlic. Sometimes we'll put a little ginger in there, and it's super easy and not, like I said, not processed. Tacos are another one that you can make versatile because you can make them with beef, you can make them with chicken, you can make them, you can make like burrito bowls where you do rice and beans, kind of like a Chipotle bowl, or you can make, like I said, it's just, there's a million ways you can make it so you can have tacos not be intimidating or not just be boring. Like, oh, we had tacos again. Well, we make taco soup sometimes. And sometimes when we make tacos and we have leftover meat, then I don't have to take out as much meat to make the taco soup on Wednesday night as I did on Monday night. So again, like thinking ahead as to what you can do or how you can combine the meals also saves on the budget. That's one thing. Even though we have 10 people eating technically, because the baby doesn't eat yet, we don't necessarily spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on food. We can keep our food budget usually right around $1,000 a month, which is pretty good for a family of our size. And it's because of meal planning and our fruit budget is expensive. It's probably like half of our food budget because my kids eat fruit as snacks. I didn't really put a lot of snacks on here because I try to weed out the snacks because I don't like having snack time or snacks on them, you know, like we don't schedule those in. Those are just kind of like, if you absolutely need to have something, these are the approved foods, which are typically either vegetables or fruit because it's on the counter. So some of the, like I said, some of the menus, like I have a ton of recipes here that like for our family, but I really encourage you to go ask everybody to pick like 2 or 3 meals that they really like and then put them on your sheets. So just to kind of catch you up, this is what my weekly meal sheet looks like. I have Monday through Sunday and I have breakfast, lunch, and supper each day. And so I go ahead and I plan that out and I put the groceries. So as I'm putting the items on this side, I put the list of things we'll need over there. So if I need rice or bread or whatever, I'll put the name there. And if I need it again on this meal, then I'll just put like checks by it so I know how many meals I need to have, or like how many pounds of hamburger or pounds of chicken or whatever it is. And then I have these 3 sheets, which are breakfasts, lunch, and suppers. And then I have a running list. So when I go to meal prep, I only have to pick 7 of those breakfasts, 7 of those lunches, and 7 of those suppers. And instead of always looking at this list and thinking we don't eat food clearly because I can't remember anything we eat, it makes it a lot easier to do it that way. And so if you want these, I can send, it's like I said, these are super simple. This is not anything complicated, but if you want it, I have a PDF version you're more than welcome to.
Awesome.
Yeah. For the meals that I have on here, I put breakfast because I feel like breakfast isn't hard, but it's one of the more important meals to like have planned because your day starts better. So one of the things is chia seed pudding. That one's super easy, super healthy, and you can make it very versatile. So this one is just overnight vanilla, maple syrup, ground cinnamon, sea salt, vanilla extract, milk, and chia seeds. Super simple. Throw it in a mason jar. You leave it sit in the fridge overnight, and you're good to go. You can make this one, you can do peanut butter, chocolate, berries. Again, if you Google the names of that, of the chia seed pudding, you will, or overnight chia seed pudding, you'll find like 80 different ways to, you know, Pinterest it and you'll find recipes. This is the recipe we use in the instructions. The other one is vanilla overnight oats. Overnight oats is a big hit in our house. Again, we use yogurt. All you do is rolled oats, any kind of milk. Some people like coconut milk for creamier, regular farm milk or whatever, cow's milk, almond milk, however you like to, or whatever your preference is. A tablespoon of chia seeds or ground flax seeds, vanilla extract, some sea salt or salt, and then honey or maple syrup to flavor it. Again, something else that you can flavor, you can add cocoa powder to make it chocolatey. You can add almonds or blueberries, strawberries, bananas, you name it. There's, again, you can Google. These are just, like I said, the plain Jane vanilla recipes of them that you can spice up to your liking. The breakfast cookies, you just need peanut butter, honey, vanilla, bananas, salt, cinnamon, oats, cranberries or raisins. Like I said, if you have to get them to like them by putting a few chocolate chips in there, you just put a few chocolate chips in there. And then you can do chopped nuts like almonds or walnuts or whatever. And if you don't like nuts, my husband does not like nuts, so we omit them if he's eating certain things. And sometimes he just sucks it up and deals with it, but he's not a fan of them. Those ones you can bake ahead, and then we usually keep them, because they're moist with the bananas in them, they will, like, they're not something that's going to last a really long time. So we'll keep them in the fridge or the freezer. If you make like if you're making more above and beyond, then you want to make sure you put them in the fridge and freezer. And unlike other cookies, when you shape them, like if you scoop them out with a ice cream scoop, they stay like that. So you might want to flatten them down and you don't have to really worry about them spreading. And I can give you all these recipes as well. Granola. This is our granola cereal. Granola is super cheap to make. It's only 6 ingredients. You need oats, salt, cinnamon, maple syrup or honey, oil. We use coconut oil in ours, and then vanilla extract. Again, you can add in your almonds. You can add like even almond extract, because I have like a vanilla almond one that's really good. But I just add some almonds into that, and watch your consistency. If you want to add dried blueberries, if you want to add craisins, raisins, chocolate chips, or whatever. But this is just kind of a good basic or granola recipe. Plus, if you like it a little bit more crunchy, that's when you bake it. So with this one, you bake it for 15 minutes, you take it out, and then you kind of toss it. You put it back in and bake it again for about 10 to 15 minutes, and watching so that it gets kind of clumped together. And I like to leave mine clumped together. I put it on the cookie sheet, but I kind of pat it down. So then when I take it out, I put it out to cool, and then let it kind of harden together, and then I clump it out, because I don't like mine flaky. I like mine like chunky. So that's just my little tip. Zupa soup is on here. That's one of our favorites. Again, I feel like you can just kind of throw those ingredients in. You just need, sausage. I just realized, I did put kale. We don't like kale. That's the original recipe. We put spinach in ours. I should have updated that, but I will. Anyway, it's, again, something where you brown up a few things and you can have it on hand. Taco soup is one that is our go-to in the Instapot, because we just throw the hamburger in right away in the morning. You dump in the rest of the ingredients and let it simmer till you're ready to eat. The easy chicken fajita bake is a nice one, because it's a few ingredients. You throw it in the oven. You can have it all ready to go in the fridge, pull it out, and then you're ready to go. I was already telling you about the meatloaf. We like mini meatloaves because it's just, I don't know, they taste better for some reason. The kids like when they get their own meatloaf. And this is my modified version of meatloaf that doesn't taste like I don't know. I'm not a meatloaf fan. My husband is a meatloaf fan, so this is how I made it taste better. Um, and then Instapot. There's a lot of Instapot. That's what I was going to say. Is if you don't have an Instapot, I highly recommend you get one because it makes making meals easy. I put the Instapot 1-pot mac and cheese. So literally you dump everything in there. You turn your Instapot on. When you come back, you stir it up and you add like just a couple of things and stir it, and you've got mac and cheese. And it's really good. They have, when I say hamburger helper, that is what I mean by hamburger helper. We don't buy boxed hamburger helper, but there's tons of hamburger helper like recipes where you just add your meat, your noodles, and a few spices, and then you have 1-pot dishes in your Instapot. So for a lot of time, or we used to, when we first got married, we ate a lot of hamburger helper just because it was cheap and you threw in some hamburger and you had a meal. But it's also really processed and really not good for you. So this is a simple way to usually keep your hamburger helper dishes under like 5 or 6 ingredients, and you know exactly what's put in your food. So that's another reason I love my Instapot, because it's usually a 30 minutes tops, by putting your meat in and all that stuff. Energy Bites is one of our favorite things. Again, this is a basic recipe. You can add protein powder to it. You can add essential oils to it. Some of my recipes have oils on them, some of them don't. But if it has cinnamon, you can use cinnamon oil in it. If it has black pepper, you can use black pepper oil in it, especially if it's red meat. It works really well. Chicken, you have to kind of be careful. Not all chicken dishes taste as good with black pepper oil in it. But the Energy Bites, I don't know, do you make Energy Bites currently? Oh, they're so easy. Oh, I can.
We make
Oopsie.
energy balls.
Yeah, energy
So,
balls. Yeah, same.
whatever, it's like the rolled oats and honey and peanut butter and chia seeds.
Yep.
And yeah, we've
And
thrown granola in, whatever we have laying around.
Yes, and I was going to say, those are nice if you need a snack or a quick, easy breakfast. Those are something that we like to keep on hand, or when you're getting like hangry, there's just enough in that little ball to like sustain you to the next meal. So I put my recipe in. Okay, so some things, this is not even a complete list, but these are some things I like to always make sure I have on hand as sides. So a lot of my meal, when I plan out my meals, it's like taco soup. I don't necessarily have a side on there. For our sides, we're using things like tortilla chips, or you can use rice. So some of the things that I like to make sure we always have plenty of is rice, oats, tortilla chips, like soft shells, tortilla shells, beans, veggies, and fruit, fresh and frozen, because those are what we use. So I usually put my main meals, and sometimes, like if we're making meatloaf, we're going to have mashed potatoes and typically corn. That's just what everybody likes. So that's how we have it. So when I do that, I know what's going to be on the side. But sometimes, like I said, if I put okay, let me see what else. If I put a BLT wrap, okay, if I just fed my family BLT wraps, they're going to want like 80 BLT wraps. They're not going to be, happy with that. So when I shop, I also put a list of things like, oh, we're going to have salads this week, or we're going to have, or just make sure we have frozen vegetables or fresh vegetables, depending upon, carrots, cucumbers, hummus, peppers, things like that. So that, okay, today we're just going to have we're going to have mixed veggies with hummus. And so I'll put that, on my list. So those are some things, like as you're meal prepping, you can write on the side of your meal, like if you don't know you're having meatballs, mashed potatoes, and corn, you can write, we're going to have BLT wraps with fresh veggies, so that we're going to need some extra carrots or peppers or whatever your family likes, cauliflower and things like that. So.
Can I just pause for 1 second, Amanda?
Mm-hmm.
The other Amanda, is that a new baby?
Yeah, she's 5 weeks old now.
Already? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm nursing Jack right now too. That's why I'm like in my bedroom and I look like a creepster in my salt lamp glow. But congratulations. I thought that looked like a little baby wobbly head.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, she's all trying to like, blah. But yeah, no, I was like, she came a month early, so she's actually wasn't supposed to be here till, I think my due date was yesterday. So
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so she's still the size of a newborn at a month old. So I'm like, well, she didn't get, like, she wasn't too huge or too tiny.